Hello children, today we are going to focus on Daniel chapter 3. In Daniel chapter 2, King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream which he forgot and hence was greatly troubled at heart. Daniel and his friends prayed to the Lord of heaven and explained and revealed the dream to the king. 23 years had passed since then until the events of chapter 3. When the king understood the dream and also its meaning, he was so happy that he had Daniel as his own counselor. Daniel sat at the gate of the king, we could say, and the king also placed Daniel's friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in important positions as rulers and governors in Babylon. These four men kept the knowledge of God before the people of Babylon very faithfully all these 23 years. Meanwhile, Jerusalem was destroyed. The people of Jerusalem, the Jews, were scattered all over Babylon. King Jehoiakim, the last Jewish king, languished in one of the prisons of Nebuchadnezzar. During Daniel 2, Nebuchadnezzar was highly humbled. He understood his real state. He knew that all his wisdom was nothing before the God of the Jews. So he even worshipped that God. But as years passed by, the impressions made then started effacing. They became faint in his heart, and he proved that he was basically a heathen at heart. So he wanted to make a big image, just like the image that he saw in his dream. He was so careful to imitate the dream that he saw, but at the same time, he did not give up his pride. He was gratifying his own pride through this act. We may wonder how. We all know that the original image in the dream was made with the head of gold, and then it also had silver, bronze, iron, and clay in various parts of the body. But in the statue that Nebuchadnezzar made, there was only gold. There was no other metal found. The image that the king made was 100 feet tall. It was visible for miles all around in the plains of Dura. When the construction was complete, he proceeded to invite all the governors and rulers in his kingdom to worship this idol that he had erected. Heaven was watching with interest, intense interest, because the highest worldly authority of that time was going in a direct collision course towards the God of heaven, towards the government of heaven. All the governors and rulers assemble in the plain of Dura. The command is given. When you hear the music, all of you should bow down and worship this image. In John chapter 4, verse 24, we read that God is a spirit, and those who worship him should worship him in spirit and truth. But this type of worship is totally alien to paganism. They are entirely ignorant of spiritual worship. For them, they should have some form, some image to bow down. No worship without this for them. According to their belief system, the king had made this huge idol. And according to their belief system, the people had gathered to worship whatever the king ordered them to. But this principle is in total variance with the government of heaven. Lucifer in heaven once rebelled against God. He refused to give homage and worship to the Lord of the universe. Even then, the Lord did not punish him immediately. He was not destroyed. The Lord knew that in the path that he has taken, he will finally die. But until then, Satan was allowed to live. But now, Satan or Lucifer, was challenging God's government through the city of Babylon. And the Babylonian king also said that whoever refuses to worship his image will be totally destroyed. The foundation principle of God's kingdom is love. The power of God's government is love. But human power, when it is given full sway, full power, it always leads to tyranny. All tyranny in this world originates from Babylonian principles. The principle of Nimrod, who stood against God and built the Tower of Babel, fulfilling Satan's idea. Wherever a government proceeds to make law enforcing worship, whether it be true or false, to obey is idolatry. This is a very important point that we should remember. No matter whether the worship be true or false, if a government takes it upon itself to enforce the worship, to obey is idolatry. Always these type of rules and laws are backed up by punishments, some form of punishment. And when this happens, the conscience of men is no longer free. If you look at this from the civil standpoint, this is tyranny. And when you look at it from a religious point of view, it always leads to persecution. So, what happened when the trumpets blew? We will see in the next audio. Until then, children, keep thinking about your worship. Are you worshipping the Lord spiritually, or is it becoming a form? Bye.